Alright, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start by giving infinite honors and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harachak Wadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last seconds of time. Shalom, shalom. And this lesson is going to be entitled, A Kingdom Divided by Civil War is Doomed. A kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. Lord willing, this message is edifying. Now I have this simple Google definition of civil war, and it says a civil war is a violent conflict between organized groups of citizens, because the word civil goes back to citizens. It says a civil war is a violent conflict between organized groups of citizens within the same country. The goals of one side may be to take control of the country or a region, achieve independence for a region, and change government policies. So that's the simple definition of civil war on Google. And I have this article here off the Newsbreak app entitled, Map Shows Which States Will Help Donald Trump with Mass Deportation Plan. And it says clear battle lines are being drawn. Clear battle lines are being drawn between Republican and Democratic-led states when it comes to implementing President-elect sweeping immigrants plans, especially mass deportation. So it says there's battle lines between Republican and Democratic-led states. So those Republican and Democratic-led states are within the United States. So that fits the definition, first and foremost, of civil war, because as it says, a civil war is a violent conflict between organized groups, which that one would be the Democratic Party and the other would be the Republican Party. And it says of citizens, which they are a group of citizens of America, the United States. It says within the same country, which is the United States. All right. And you have different goals on each side. And as it says here, clear battle lines are being drawn between Republican, Democratic-led parties when it comes to implementing this mass deportation plan. So that's basically saying that you have some sides that are some states that are supporting it and some that are not. So let's read on and let's get a quick scripture. This is Matthew 12 and 25. I'll read it in KG first and then the NLT. Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every kingdom, included America, all right, has been brought to desolation due to the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Every kingdom from the Romans, all right, the Greeks, the Babylonians, Assyrians, okay, and now here in America, which is an extension of the Roman Empire, this kingdom as well will be divided up against itself and brought to desolation, as we're seeing here, Republicans versus Democrats. And as it says, in every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And in the NLT it says, Yahushua knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart. All right. And we just read the definition of civil war, which says, again, a violent conflict between organized groups of citizens within the same country. All right. And this civil war is going to lead ultimately to mass death, violence, and as the scriptures say, uprising. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe means destruction. This is what Ezra saw, a time like no other. And that time is Jacob's trouble. And these events are going to lead up to it. As it says, this week, 26 GOP governors signed a joint letter stating they stand united in support of his plans to protect American citizens from disastrous open border policies. So 26, all right, governors in the United States support and stand united in the support with Trump to protect American citizens, aka supporting this mass deportation. So let's read on. It says, among those who signed were Texas Greg Abbott, South Carolina's Henry McMaster, and Florida's Ron DeSantis. It says, when the Biden administration refused to secure our borders and uphold the rule of law, it was Republican governors who took action, the letter read. We mobilized state resources, including law enforcement and National Guard units, to protect Americans from disastrous open border policies and prevent illegal immigration from overwhelming our country. You see? So even before, all right, this mass deportation actually happens, when Biden was in office, you had different governors coming up against him and his policies and branching off and using their own resources within their states, all right, to go against the president, man. Okay, which is all smoke and mirrors. Proverbs 21:1 says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He turneth it whithersoever way he will, as the rivers of the water. All right, so the Lord is controlling the hearts of these kings to gear up for World War III. And this is just another example of how you have division in this country. It says a civil war, a kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. All right, and this is what it's going to lead to, a major civil war. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. The modern day Egyptians are Americans. All right. Revelation 11 and around the 18th verse, it says, the dead body shall lie in the street in that great city, which is spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. So the modern day Egyptians are Americans. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That's civil war. The word civil means citizen. It says everyone shall fight against his brother and everyone against his neighbor. So you're friendly, walking outside and grabbing a mail and waving to your neighbor, that's going to be gone. All right. Your neighbor is going to be looking at you for his resources if he's lacking anything in his household. All right. Because of the lack of bread thereof. Okay. It says city against city and kingdom against kingdom. And it reiterates this in 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter, because you're going to have a war on different levels. You're going to have Democrats versus Republicans, this state versus that state. All right. This point of view versus that point of view. You're going to have family against another family member. You're going to have son versus father, mother versus daughter. All right. The Lord said he came to set the variance upon the planet Earth. All right. He's come to set fire upon the planet Earth, man. And what would he be if it already be kindled? So this place is going to be on fire. All right. This is 2 Ezra 13. And I'll start at, let's see, verse 31. It says, I'll start at 30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. Isaiah 19:2. I shall set the Egyptians versus the Egyptians. All right. And they shall stand up with swords in their hands, one place against another, one city against another. And that's what the Lord is ultimately setting up. You're going to have not only people against each other, but you're going to have places against each other. You're going to have nations against each other. All right. You're going to have the Lord of hosts, which goes into the heavens armies against the militaries of the planet Earth. It says one realm against another. Okay? So we're seeing these things, and we're going to see them in our lifetime. Lord willing, I be that number. 2025 may well be that year of great destruction. All right? Because the Lord is sending these things upon the earth, like it says. Let's go back to it. 2nd Ezra 15. And 15, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And this is what this tension is leading up to. It says, we are a city of immigrants, and we will always be true to those roots. But we also have to be honest and be clear that our immigration system is broken, and a small number of repeat violent offenders are taking advantage of that broken system. So let's see if there's any more. So you go down and it shows a map. It says state support for Trump's mass plan. It says all but one GOP governor, all right, Republican governor, Vermont's Phil Scott, signed the letter declaring support for Trump's plan. So all but one governor. And that's going to bring tension, because you got all these different GOP Republican states, all right, that are going for Trump, but you have one governor that has not yet signed it, so he may be outed, man. All right? So let's go back, 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And that's what's ultimately gearing up, all right? Sedition, a violent uprising. That's what we're going to see, because things aren't clicking here in America anymore. People aren't agreeing with each other anymore. People aren't so friendly anymore. Okay? People are in a state of, I have to get what I can get for myself. I have to do what I can do for myself. And if you're not on my timing on what I think is right, then to hell with you. And that's the average mindset of these Babylonians. All right? Ignorance is bliss. Okay? YOLO spirit. All right? But that's going to be to their detriment. That's going to end up with them ultimately being destroyed by these various plagues that the Lord is sending. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. You see? So, and it said that, and here it said, let's see. Let's go back up. Okay, here it goes. It says, Salakia. Okay, here it goes. When the Biden administration refused to secure our borders and uphold the rule of law, it was Republican governors who took action, the letter read. We mobilized state resources, including law enforcement and National Guard units, to protect Americans from disastrous open border policies and prevent illegal immigration from overwhelming our country. And they mobilized law enforcement and National Guard units to, quote unquote, protect Americans from disastrous open border policies. But those same National Guard units, law enforcement, are going to be mobilized for Jacob's trouble and be patrolling these different neighborhoods and pulling people out of their homes, all right, putting them to detention camps, all right, FEMA camps, okay, concentration camps, and that nature, and destroying them, man, all right? This is 2nd Ezra 13, so like your 2nd Ezra 16, and I'll start at .37. It says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bring forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And this is one of the birth pains, one of the sorrows, civil war, man. All right? One person against another person. One group against another group, one state versus another state, one nation versus another nation, one realm against another realm, man. The Lord is a man of war. Exodus the 15th chapter, man. All right? And all these different birth pains on the earth are leading up into the coming of whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right? So here you have this map, okay, showing the states that are in support of the whole plan to be implemented in January. Okay. Let's see if there's any more. It says Republican governors remain fully committed to supporting the administration's efforts to deport dangerous criminals, gang members, and terrorists who are in this country illegally. We understand the direct threat these criminal illegal immigrants pose to public safety and our national security, and we will do everything in our power to assist in removing them from our communities. So this is going to consist of, ultimately, you so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes. You're going to be persecuted during this time, all right? Because you're going to have the military deployed in these communities, all right? People being pulled off the jobs, out of their homes, people being terrorized, and that's going to create a lot of turmoil, all right? On top of that, just the average everyday tensions of these Americans, all right, and their own problems, all right, are all going to hit ahead in that day, man. And it's all going to lead to all-out pandemonium, man. So like it says here, Matthew 12:25 in the NLT, Yahushua knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is casting out Satan, he is divided and fighting against himself. His own kingdom will not survive. So that's ultimately what's going to happen. All right. This kingdom itself is going against itself. As you see here, Democrats versus Republicans. Like it tells you in Revelation 13, two horns that spake it as a lamb, all right? And that's a part of this beast system, a tool that's been used, all right, to put the hell on you so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes. Like it says in Revelation, the 6th chapter, a red horse and unto him was given a great sword. You go into that word sword, it goes into judicial punishment. So Lord willing, this message was edifying. A kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, call Allah Yamla Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Till next time, Shalom.